It was the King Wen sequence of the I Ching, and he turned it into a fractal, and when you put it onto history, it kind of maps really neatly onto history. And that fractal runs out on December the 22nd, 2012 as well. Or so I thought, because it turns out that Terence McKenna twisted the truth in order to tie it into the Mayan calendar. So therefore, it's not true, it's made up, it's poetry, it's beautiful poetry, but it's poetry, and no, I don't think that the world's going to end. I think all our ideas about apocalypse come from the fact that we know that we're all going to die in the end, and we project our mortality onto culture and onto civilization, and we imagine that there's going to come a day where it all comes to an end, and somehow we might be there to see that. Honestly, I don't think it will happen like that. You know, I think the world is going to keep going, and that's even harder to deal with, because when there's no apocalypse, what the hell are we going to do? Because we better start building the Starship Enterprise.
It's going to be an excuse for a great party.
Yeah, it's an excuse for a party, but what isn't?
How's it going? My name is Sean, I'm from Brooklyn. My question is, one of the recurring themes in your work is how fiction kind of, or rather the characters interact with the actual world, whether it be Buddy Baker becoming aware of the reader, Superman being able to perceive the reader, etc. My question is, one of the more prestigious things, or rather one of the more ambitious things that you tried to do is basically this idea to bring the DC universe to life, as you once said. So my question is, where are we with that now, and did Dan DiDio basically make that a stillborn?
No, I don't. I mean, I tried to bring the DC universe to life, but I remember reading a really good piece online that some guy had done a blog thing, and he said Grant Morrison brought the DC universe to life, but it fell in love with Jeff Johns. And that's it. Yeah, I thought it's alive, but it doesn't fancy me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck next time. Maybe image this side more.
Yeah, maybe.
How's it going?
Hey, good.
My name is Tom Stroll. I'm producing a feature film and a pop record, and well, I wanted to ask your opinion.
Good luck, man.
Thank you. I'm finishing up the film, and well, I wanted to ask your opinion as you are juggling all these different projects, and yet working intimately with some of them, maybe more than others. Can you talk a little bit about, in your experience, what kind of logistical struggles you've had? Maybe you have an anecdote about how you've made it work, where you've kept it your own, but trusted other people that you work with enough to branch out?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say that, because I just do my stuff and send it in, you know, and I don't have much connection with it. My wife does all the hard work on the front of juggling that stuff. You know, I just sit in my room and write, which is quite easy for me to do. Juggling projects is just something you've got to do. You'll find your own way of doing it, you know, and then the more you take on and the more popular you become, the more people want you to do stuff. And if you're like me, you'll just keep saying yes. And so suddenly you'll find yourself with 20 things to do. And what that means is that you don't go to sleep for 7 days, and you stay up and you drink lots of vodka. And you become miserable. And everything becomes about the art and not about your personality. And you can forget yourself and say goodbye to everything you thought you would one day become. And
well, I guess it's starting to work then.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? And your work will go out and do all the hard talking and negotiating for you. So really, honestly, you'll do it because you will have no option. And that's all I can say. You'll find your own ways of doing it. I used lots of drink. And,
thank you.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very personal thing, you know, and it depends how many projects you eventually get to juggle. I got to the point where I was juggling like 15 things in 2010. And it was on the verge of actual mental illness.
So when do you say no?
When do you say no?
Yeah.
You don't say no. Okay. Because if you start out as a poor kid and you're a freelance writer, then you can't say no to anything, because you might never get another offer.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the trouble. So sorry, mate.
No, it's great.
Yeah, just get ready to work 7 days a week, 24 hours, and enjoy it. Hey.
Hi, my name's Kyle Lawrence. I'm from New Jersey. One of my favorite runs.
Nice Starman thing there.
Yeah, thanks. All right, one of my favorite runs is your Animal Man.
Yeah.
Where did you just sort of get the idea to take it in that incredibly batshit insane direction?
Well, with Animal Man, it was just, I'd always wanted to do that character when I was a kid because none of the other kids knew who he was. So every time we played at superheroes, I'm Animal Man! He can do anything, he can turn into an elephant and kick your ass. So, I really liked Animal Man, but when I got into doing the comic book, I was kind of really involved in the whole animal rights thing. And it just seemed like so obvious that the Animal Man could be an outlet for kind of some of the feelings that I had about that. And that's what it became. So yeah, it was just really about the life that I was leading, you know, and my cat died right in the middle of it, so that added another strand to it. And it was just, you know, I really like animals. I think they're bloody great, you know, and I've got a lot of good animal friends, so I kind of wanted to give them a good comic.
What do you think of the current Animal Man run?
I like it. I really like Jeff Lemire's stuff. The only thing I don't like about Animal Man that's not Jeff's fault is that concept of the red. You know, and as I say, I've got to say this because I like what Jeff's doing. I don't want, because I saw it reported a couple of weeks ago that, oh, Grant Morrison says Jeff Lemire's terrible. No, I never liked the concept of the red because I thought it was like a borrowing from Swamp Thing. And Animal Man already had the morphogenetic field and this kind of scientific explanation for his powers. So I didn't like the fact that they made him into almost a kind of sub-Swamp Thing. And that was never, I found it an unappealing concept and I wish they would just get rid of it. But other than that, I really like what he's doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.